more examples tayo. So, first example natin ay find the limit of x squared plus 4x minus 3 as x approaches 4. So, paano natin to i-evaluate ngayon para makuha natin yung limit? So, ang gagawin natin dyan by applying the different theorems natin sa limit, makukuha natin yung limit niyan. Ang gagawin lang natin is that paghiwa-hiwalayin natin na kunin yung limit ng bawat expression natin sa given. Okay? So, first step natin, i-apply natin yung ating addition theorem. No? So, by applying the addition law theorem, ipaghiwa-hiwalayin natin tong tatlong ito. So, ang magiging lagay niyan is that magiging limit of x squared as x approaches 4 plus limit of 4x as x approaches 4 plus si negative 3, magiging sign na yan. So, magiging limit of negative 3 as x approaches 4. Kasi ginamit natin yung addition law theorem. So, dapat addition yung ating operation na gagamitin. Okay? After natin silang paghiwa-hiwalay na tatlo gamit ang addition law theorem, i-apply naman natin ngayon yung mga theorems na applicable sa bawat isa sa kanilang tatlo. Wherein dito sa una, applicable dito yung ating power theorem. Dito naman sa pangalawa, applicable naman dito yung ating pwedeng constant theorem or yung ating pangalawang theorem na limit of x as x approaches c is equal to c. And then, dito naman sa isa, pangatlo is yung ating the limit of a constant is the constant itself. Okay? So, kapag iniisa-isa natin tong lahat, ang magiging lagay niyan is that the limit of x, labas muna natin yung ating exponent as x approaches 4 plus labas natin, di ba, yung ginagawa natin kanina, ilalabas natin si 4. So, 4 limit of x as x approaches 4 plus, as is lang yan, kasi limit of a constant naman yan mamaya. So, negative 4. Yan. So, i-simplify pa natin. Ang magiging lagay niyan is that, ano yung limit of x as x approaches 4, di ba? Ito yung pangalawang theorem natin na kapag variable x yung hinahanapan natin ng limit, yung limit na magiging sagot natin ay kung saan mag-approach yung ating x or yung mag-value ng ating c, which is 4. So, ang magiging lagay niyan is 4 and then copy the squared or yung ating exponent plus 4, itong pangalawa naman natin na kinukuhanan ng limit, syempre yung constant natin na 4, and then again, yung pangalawang limit natin, pangalawang theorem natin, na kapag the limit of x, di ba? X kasi to, the limit of x as x approaches c is equal to c. So, therefore, 4 pa rin yung magiging limit niyan. So, that will become 4 times 4. Plus, again, eto, meron tayong constant na number or yun yung hinahanapan natin ng limit na constant. Diba, yung ating first theorem na the limit of a constant is the constant itself. Therefore, ang magiging sagot ng natin dyan ay negative 3. So, kung isi-simplify natin to, 4 squared is 16 plus 4 times 4 is 16. Positive times negative will give us negative 3. So, 16 plus 16 is 32 minus 3 is equal to 29. So, the limit now or the final answer is equal to 29. So, ganyan tayo find ng limit kapag ganito ang ating hinahanap. Paghiwa-hiwalayin mo sila and then tsaka ka mag-apply sa bawat isa kung ano yung applicable na theorem ang pwede nating i-apply. Next tayo, sunod tayo na example. So, pangalawang example natin, let's try to solve. This time, mag-solve naman tayo ng fraction. So, meron tayong limit of x plus 5 over x plus 2 as x approaches, let's say, 1. Okay, so first step natin, since division na, di ba? Fraction, division yan. So, i-apply natin yung ating division theorem, di ba? So, paghiwalayin natin yung numerator, paghiwalayin natin na kunin yung limit ng numerator, tsaka limit ng ating denominator. Okay, so limit of x plus 5 as x approaches 1 over limit of x plus 2 as x approaches 1. But, this time, pinag-iwalay na natin. Ngayon naman, pwede naman natin i-apply ulit yung ating addition theorem. I-apply natin yung addition theorem sa ating numerator and ganun din sa ating denominator. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, ihiwalay ulit natin. Paghiwalayin pa natin ulit si x at saka 5 sa numerator at ganun din si x at saka si 2 doon sa ating denominator. So, magiging kalalagay niya, ang magiging lagay niyan is limit of x as x approaches 1 plus the limit of 5 as x approaches 1 over the limit of x as x approaches 1 plus the limit of 2 as x approaches 1. Diba? Parang humahaba-haba na yung ating process ng pagkukuha ng limit. So, after natin i-apply yung addition theorem, pinaghiwalay na natin yung bawat isa sa kanila. Ngayon, sunod naman natin i-apply ay yung mga, kung ano ba yung mga applicable na ulit na theorem ang pwede natin i-apply sa bawat isa sa kanila. Okay? So, unahin natin itong limit ng x natin. Ano yung limit, anong theorem i-apply natin dito? 'Di ba? Ito yung pangalawang theorem natin, not that the limit of x as x approaches c is equal to c. Kasi variable x lang naman yung hinahanapan natin ng limit. Therefore, yung c natin na 1, yun yung magiging value ng ating limit. So, that will become 1 plus, sunod na kuhanan natin ng limit is ito. 'Di ba? Constant. We also have constant na naman dito. Wherein, anong sabi ng constant theorem natin? That the limit of a constant is the constant itself. Therefore, kung constant yung limit na hinahanapan natin, yun na rin yung magiging limit value natin. Okay? Over, same dito naman, pareho lang din dito yung ginawa natin dito sa una kanina, dito sa ating denominator. So, 1 pa rin yan. Plus, again, yung ating kukuhanan ng limit na naman dito ay constant, which is 2. So, 2 pa rin yung ating magiging value dyan. So, simplify natin. 1 plus 5 is 6 over 1 plus 2 is 3. Simplify pa natin. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So, therefore, the value or the limit of the function na hinahanapan natin ay 2. Lagay natin doon, 2. Okay? So, ganyan yan. Next tayo. Sunod-sunod tayo na example. Okay. So, this time naman, pangatlong example natin, mag-try naman tayo ng may radical. Okay, so let's try to find or let's determine the limit of 66 minus x. Square root of 66 minus x as x approaches 2. So, ano yung magiging first step natin? Siyempre, meron tayong radical sign. So, ibig sabihin, ang unang gagamitin natin na i-apply na theorem ay yung pangwalo natin na theorem, which is the radical or root theorem. Okay? So, magiging lagay niyan is that square root of limit of 66 minus x is as x approaches 2. So, after that, yung ginagawa lang natin, This time, ano yung operation na ginamit? Since ang operation na ginamit ay subtraction, so sunod na i-apply naman natin yung subtraction theorem natin. Meaning to say, paghiwalayin natin ulit, nakuhanin yung limit ni 66 tsaka limit ng variable x natin. Ipaghiwalayin lang natin sila. So, magiging lagay niyan, limit, wag natin kalimutang ilagay yung radical sign natin, limit of 66 as x approaches to minus sakop niya na sakop nung radical ihiwalay lang natin yung nasa loob pero nasa iisang bubong lang sila, okay? Nasa parehong radical sign pa rin sila. So the limit of x as x approaches to, okay? After that, simplify na natin 'yan. Okay? So wag natin kakalimutan pa rin yung ating radical sign. So, the limit of 66 as x approaches 2, again, and again, pag constant na yung hinahanapan mo ng limit, yun na po mismo yung limit or yun na yung sagot. Okay? Minus limit of x. Anong ulit ang magiging limit natin kapag x lang yung hinahanapan natin ng limit? Yun yung c natin or kung saan mag-approach yung x. So, 66 minus 2 is 64, right? And the square root of 64 is equal to 8. So, therefore, the limit of the square root of 66 minus x as x approaches 2 is equal to 8. Okay po? Next, huling example natin. Let's try to evaluate naman uh, what if ito naman. Sige. Last na example natin. Evaluate naman natin ito. The limit of x squared minus x minus 6 as x approaches 3. Okay. This time, magkakaroon tayo ng special case kasi, di ba, anong sabi natin kanina dun sa ating division theorem? Iiwasan natin na maging 0 yung ating denominator. So, kung itong case na kasi ito, class, kapag kung napapansin niyo, di ba? Napapansin niyo yung mga example natin, ginamitan lang natin siya ng limit loss. But then, kung hindi niyo pa napapansin, pwede naman tayong mag-direct substitution, right? Just like this. Diba? Kung samang dinirect natin, sinubstitute si 1 doon sa value ng x, still, makukuha pa rin natin yung sagot na tama. But, hindi kasi, not all the time, hindi applicable. Sabi ko nga din nung unang discussion natin kapag gamit ng direct substitution doon sa table of values, diba, hindi pwede, not all the time, ay pwedeng natin gamitin ang direct substitution. So, tingnan natin kung kapag ba dinirect substitute natin to, no? So, 3 minus 3 is equal to 3 squared minus 3 minus x. So, simplify natin, magiging 0 na yung numerator. 3 squared is 9. Minus 3 is 6. And 6 minus 6 is 0. Hindi na yan applicable. Hindi natin na-evaluate kasi naging 0 na yung ating denominator. So, kapag ganitong case, no, ang gagawin lang natin, tignan natin kung ano ba yung factorable. Kung yung numerator or yung denominator natin. Okay? Since malamang, hindi naman natin ma-factor yung x minus 3. So, malamang yung denominator ang pwede nating i-factor dito. Okay? So, kung kukunin natin yan, yung kanyang factor, ano bang factor natin? X minus 6. Okay. So, create ka ng dalawang, okay. Ano ba yung number na pag minultiply natin ay lalabas si 6 at pag pinag-add or sinubtract natin lalabas si 1. Okay? So, wala namang ibang factor pa ang 6 kundi 3 at saka 2 lang, 'di ba? So, ngayon ano ang magiging sign natin? Since negative 6 doon, therefore, magkaibang sign yung ano natin dito. So, ang magiging sign natin dito is x minus 3 at saka x plus 2. So, yan na ngayon yung ating factor nung denominator natin. So, i-rewrite natin siya. The limit of x minus 3 over x plus 2, x minus 3, okay, as x approaches 3. Ayan. So, since ito ay ginagawa lang natin yung pagfa-factor kapag magiging 0 yung ating denominator. So, gagamit tayo ng mag-factor tayo para maiwasan natin maging 0 yung ating denominator at para ma-determine natin yung limit na hinahanap natin. Okay? So, this time na nakuha na natin yung factor, pwede na tayong mag-cancel. No? Cancel natin yung pareho sa numerator tsaka denominator. So, si x minus 3 at saka x minus 3 ay magkapareho, so i-cancel na natin sila. So, ang magiging lagay na ng limit natin will become the limit of, kinancel natin yan, so malamang meron pa rin naman siyang 1 doon. So, ang natira na lang sa ating denominator ay x plus 2. So, yan yung kukuhanan natin ngayon ng limit. Okay? So, ito na ngayon yung parang magiging final ngayon natin na kukuhanan ng limit. Okay? So, since division ulit to, i-apply natin yung division theorem natin. So, magiging lagay niyan, ihiwalay natin yung limit of numerator natin, limit of 1 as x approaches 3 over the limit of x plus 2 as x approaches 3. Okay? Again, pwede pa nating i-apply yung dito sa ating denominator, yung ating addition theorem sa denominator natin kasi pwede nating paghiwalayan ito. So, magiging lagay pa niyan is limit of 1 as x approaches 3 over limit of x as x approaches 3 plus the limit of 2 as x approaches 3. Okay. Mamang dali-dali naman yan. Bakit di na lang tayo mag-direct substitution? Ay, wag nyo na naman akong shortcutin sa pagsusolve. Please follow the rules of our limit laws. Okay? Kailangan gusto ko pa rin makita yung process ng pagkuha ninyo ng limit. Okay? So, simplify na natin. Limit of a constant, i-apply natin yung limit of a constant dito sa ating numerator kasi constant naman si 1, therefore 1 pa rin yan, over limit of x, x ulit, so ang magiging limit natin dyan ay si 3 plus limit of a constant ulit, si 2, so that is 2, so simplify natin, that will become 1 over 5. Therefore, the limit now of our given function ay 1 over 5. Okay?